Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the November 12th Board of Health meeting for the town of Ashland. The first thing on the agenda is citizen participation. Do I have anybody for citizen participation? Okay, no one. So the next thing on the agenda is the blight bylaw review. Doug Scott, our building commissioner, is here with us. Raj, do you want to start or just have Doug go right into it?
Chief, we can give it to Doug, but what we are trying to adopt is a blight bylaw. It's going for the town meeting next week, so Mr. Scott is here to brief the board on that. I know we had this for discussion before us as well. I'll give it to you, Doug. Thank you. Doug, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
How you doing? Yeah, that works.
We can hear you now.
Nope.
No, I just
not now.
But Doug, we can't hear you.
New computer. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. It's a brand new computer. The other one, so I apologize for the last time we were together. My personal computer and my work computer all died at the same time. So this is a bylaw that we've been working on for quite some time. I've been getting, and Raj, we've both been getting complaints from citizens. Last one I got was about a week ago. It was a woman that was terrified to let her daughter out because the people next door hadn't done anything to clean their yard. It was a pretty sad mess, and she and her husband saw rodents, and so they were afraid to put their daughter out. And we don't get a ton of these, but it's been picking up. As you know, blight takes many different forms. It can be somebody's yard that they've never taken care of. It's abandoned homes. It's graffiti. Businesses don't pick up their trash, or they are attracting nuisances. So this is generally what the blight bylaw is. We've had this go through the town's attorney, Lisa Mead. We've made pretty significant changes from what she had written up, because that was a little too on the stiff side. But I want to say that this is not something to punish people. We're not going to go out and, neither Raj nor I or the police or the fire have the manpower to go around and order people to clean up their yards. This is like all the rest of our town bylaws. It's pretty much complaint driven. So it gives us some teeth. I think all of you have heard of the 137 Pond Street project that is now in the hands of the receivership. That had gone on for about a year and a half. And had we had the bylaw, the blight bylaw, it would have moved along quicker. We could have been able to get a hold of the Attorney General's office to help us quicker. It's these things that are just another tool in our work basket. So I don't want anybody to think that any of us are going to go run around and find issues. Sometimes what happens when there's a fire, the police department or the fire department will see an issue or a concern, and that's one of the reasons why they are part of this in this involved in this bylaw. And the same thing with the police. The police should see something, they go in, somebody's injured or hurt, and they may need help. This is also to help people. We'll work closely with Courtney and, to work with people to try to help people that have troubles or they're in trouble for one reason or another. And we have you folks as the board, and so before anybody can file an appeal on anything that any of the four of us order or wanted to cleaned up, so they would come to your board and you would hear it. It's like my board is in Boston. It's a Board of Building Regulations and Standards. That's the appeals board for building code disagreements. So your function would be to look at what's going on, discuss it with the applicant, and maybe broker a deal. Maybe during that hearing we could find that there's a bigger issue. But again, I'm didn't want to read through the whole entire thing, but it's really for the town. This is to help the town. Rodents are becoming more and more prevalent in town. We're building apartments like there's no tomorrow. And growth is happening. And we want to make sure that the growth in the town is in with the checks and balances of making it a safe and secure home for everybody. So, any questions?
Yes, I do have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Doug,
go
the
ahead.
question was, is the enforcement is on the part of the Board of Health, or is that any other department can enforce it too?
No, the enforcement has four arms to it. The building department, the building inspector, the Board of Health, Raj, the director, the police, and the fire department.
Okay.
You're
So
not. Your Board of Health is not an enforcement arm. You're a hearing board.
Okay. All right. That one. The other thing is that you talked about to negotiate or something like that. Is there discretion available in that blight law that permits us to negotiate something?
Yes,
with people?
yes, there are. And
There are,
actually, an applicant is somebody that has been ticketed or been told to clean up. They actually have the ability to come up with a plan, which can be presented to the board, and there are timelines for all of this. They have presented to the board, and the board can agree to it or not.
Okay. So there is discretion available for us to
Yes.
exercise that. The other thing they talked about rodents could also be because of the climate change, because the weather keeps warmer and warmer. The rodent population also go up because of that too.
Well, it could be, but
Okay.
I'm not an expert on rodents.
Yeah, I mean, neither but I know.
I've seen what they do. I live in Worcester.
Right.
I was standing in my bathroom
Yeah.
one morning, and I looked out the window, and I saw a rat scurrying across, and I was like,
They're just
freaked
taking a peek
out.
everywhere. All right. Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
And Dr. J, I know you have sent some comments, besides like the spellings and all that. Do you have any question for Doug or me?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Doug.
Hi.
I have it open here. So yeah, there was just one. I sent Raj some of my comments on the document, and yeah, aside from the typo, I just wanted to know, and it's not necessarily something that would be addressed in the document, but are there any considerations? I mean, you mentioned you kind of answered the question a little bit, but economically, it could have an impact on people that may not have the means to clean stuff up. And I'm wondering if the town would be working with social services, or there would be some consideration for hardship. And, has that been discussed or considered?
Yes, yes, and definitely. Courtney works out of the community center with social services, and the good thing about having this and the way we've structured it in our bylaw is that will allow us, to meet and have a broader discussion. If we find somebody with an issue or a concern, we're like, about 2-3 weeks ago, I was called to an address by the fire department, and we found one of the sons has some serious issues, and so what I did was I went and talked to Courtney, and and I asked her if she was aware of it, and she said, "No, I didn't even know about this." And I'll have to do some research and look up and see, because there's a mother, these are all grown sons, but there seems to be a bigger issue here. So these things bring to light why some things are happening, and the neighbors didn't understand. They just thought this was, I hate to say this, but he was just a crazy kid. And he was in his 20s probably, and come to find out, he's got some issues. And the mother and the other brothers are not want to have anything to do with it. And so this not only, will help everybody, but it will also help us to maybe get some help to these people. Like if you have a home, and I go to houses all over the town every day for inspections. Some homes I walk into, they're spotless. It's like a widow. She's spotless and neat as a pin. And some places I go into where there's definitely issues. And so it allows, I can talk to our social services people and see if they can look into it and see what's going on, instead of just not saying anything, and you got major hoarding issues and all kinds of other situations, and they're hidden away, and nobody would know. And also, we want to do is, with it being a complaint driven with the neighbors, it allows us to communicate with the neighbors, get back to them, say, hey, appreciate it. This is the issue we have, and we're going to work on it. It may not happen, clean up or whatever it is instantly, but we're going to work on it to try to help everybody.
I have one question. If Jay is done, is Jay you still on, or?
Yeah, I have one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And thanks for that, Doug. That makes sense. I figured as much. That the town would try to work with the owner, but just wanted to raise it because I know it's outside of the scope of the actual written document, which is fine. The other question I had is in section 5. It's actually part 4, and it mentions this is all about time frames for notification and that sort of thing. And there's an exception for emergencies. And I was just wondering what, in your mind, would be an emergency that would change the time frames for action on the part of the town.
Say the fire department goes in to answer a call with the ambulance, the floor's collapsing, or a part of the floor's collapsing, a wall's literally coming down, water is leaking and it's mold everywhere. So these are the types of emergencies that that we would, and believe it or not, we see these, and deal with them. But this just gives us, again, that little extra tool, because if you've never been to housing court in Worcester, Judge Sullivan, it's a good thing probably. Judge Sullivan he's been a jurist for decades. He's a wonderful man, great man. Puts on seminars for housing and health and all kinds of things like that. And he really cares. And when Raj and I were there for Pond Street, there was the Worcester was there. They had firefighters there, Board of Health people there, a couple building inspectors there, and this was all for these kinds of issues. And he was very articulate about asking questions and how do we do with this and what do you do? And the landlord or the tenant is there, and what can we do to work together? And this isn't a draconian, this is it. You got 30 days to fix this, or I'm throwing you to jail, or I'm fining you $1,000. Well, finding somebody that can't fix it in the first place isn't always the simple thing to do. So those are the types of things that with the emergencies and things like that. And sometimes if somebody's got the means, like a landlord, you don't have to be an owner occupied building, residential, commercial, to come under this bylaw. I mean, we purposely made it so that it's basically every town, everybody in the town, every building in the town. And sometimes it's just landlords are just lazy and they're cheap and they don't want to spend the money. Well, that's another situation where we might say, I don't really care, buddy. You're going to fix this. I'm going to take you to court and I'll explain to the judge why you need to fix it.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. You're up, Kate.
And
thank you.
Sorry, and everyone, this has to be approved at town meeting for a bylaw change. So this won't even go in front of until the next town meeting.
Chief, we are going this Tuesday for the special town meeting. It's going in front of the town meeting.
It's on the agenda. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Right. Doug, I had a question. Is dust an issue within this framework?
I had you got me, KG. You had got, but it can be a health issue.
Correct.
I mean,
now,
I know the high winds and everything. Yes,
it's the dry lawn because water is not being permitted to be used for that purposes. And if the grass dies there, it's going to be a dry land. And no owner wants to probably reinvest money again because they anticipate another waterless situation. So he's being asked to put money down there to build the lawn and then die again and again. That's not helpful. And the dust is going to be an issue
Well,
when there's
so
law that's going to be enforced, then it's going to be a problem for them.
But again, it's gonna
No.
be from a complaint. It has to stem from a complaint.
Sure,
We're
I
not driving
understand.
around
So-
looking for this.
So
Correct.
so let me this is KG, this was where common sense comes into play.
Hmm.
You know, none of the four groups that are enforcing this are, may I say, wet behind the ears.
Okay.
We're all fairly competent and knowledgeable, understanding. We've been around the block one or two times, maybe
Okay.
5 or 6 for me. But it, this is where, listen, somebody calls me and complains about the wind blowing their, well, I'm going to say, hey, buddy, be happy it's not on fire.
That's right. So it's not a sledgehammer. That's good.
No. This is
Okay.
not a sledgehammer at all.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of, well, I guess two questions. The first one was about the Pond Street example that you provided. So what would this bylaw, do you think, have helped? How would it have helped that situation? Would it have just allowed for a sort of a quicker resolution? No real different outcome, just you would have gotten there quicker and
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely. So when you go to court, you've got to have a leg to stand on. And when you don't have a leg to stand on, then don't waste your time going to court, because the first thing the judge will say is, well, show me show me where it says that this is a problem. Show me where this is needs to be, how or why this needs to be taken care of. So you have to have some place where it comes from. And that, oh, my dog is coming to visit me. He's a big shepherd. But anyway, yeah,
Okay.
it would have been probably 6-8 months quicker.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks. And so the second question that I had was, I didn't see anything in the bylaw about communication with the public or anything about reporting or record keeping requirements. Do you think that's necessary? I mean, it seems like it might be a good idea if, say, for example, Raj were to come before the board or include in his report to the board every quarter or something like that, the number of cases that have come up or something, just so we have an idea of first of all, how the impact of the bylaw over
Yep.
time and whether there are maybe some bigger issues in the community that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, this was actually brought up. Raj, where was that conversation? We actually was brought up by, I can't remember who, but
It might have been at the select board meeting.
yes, it was. Yeah, okay, there you go. Somebody was paying attention. Don't tell them I said that.
My wife might have mentioned it again after the meeting. So
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Should that be part of the bylaw, or could that be part of a policy
Well,
that we can?
that is my question. Is that something that would need to be included in the bylaw, or is that something that we can just sort of do without having to write it into the law itself?
I guess we can keep that data, at our end instead of writing that. This is my thought. It's just this document, came from our attorney's office, right? Like Lisa Mead's office.
Yep.
But I guess all that data we can have it at our end, and we can provide it to board whenever needed. I don't know if we can have to typically write this in the bylaw.
Listen, you know what, everybody, hang on a minute. We have a lot of people waiting. We're now 20 minutes behind schedule. We have a lot of people waiting. If everyone feels that we should table this, and we can, but we have a lot of hearings that people are waiting for.
That was my last question. So I don't know if anybody
Go ahead.
else.
No.
Yep.
Yep.
Nope. That was it. That was it.
All right, Doug, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time to look at this, and I hope you will come to the next Tuesday to the town meeting. Take care. Have a good
we-
evening, everybody.
Do
Thank
we
you,
need
Doug.
to,
Thank you.
do we need to adopt it and
We need
approve
to
it from our
vote on
side or
this?
no?
Raj,
No,
do we need to vote on this?
This is going to town meeting, they're gonna take
Okay.
it up there, Thank you.
Okay.
But do we need to recommend it to the town or we don't need to recommend it to the town? Who is recommending it?
It's already on the agenda, KG, so I don't even know. It's
I-
already on the town meeting agenda.
I guess, Ed, I guess if you, individually, if you are for it, you think it's a good thing, you can certainly stand up and speak at the town meeting. We just, that we all wanted to make sure that you folks had a chance to discuss it, look at it, and ask us questions. So that being said,
Does, Ed, does it hurt if we recommend that this be adopted?
No, we can certainly,
So
We
why
can
not
do a-
why not we vote on a recommendation?
sure. So you want to make a motion?
I do. I move that this blight law be recommended to the town meeting for adoption.
I'll
Second.
second it. Oops. So all in favor?
I
I
So
KG,
That's
yeah.
unanimous. Okay, great.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Ed.
Doug.
thank you very much, everybody. Take care.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
well-
Doug.
So the next thing on the agenda is the 208 Myrtle Street, Green Hill Engineering request for a septic tank variance. Is anybody here to speak on that?
Hi, I'm Mark
Mark,
Farrell
you
from
here?
Green Hill Engineering. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, great. So I am the designer of the project. It's an existing single-family home on Myrtle Street. And we're asking the board for two variances. One is a Title V variance. That would be the leach field. Title V specifies to be 10 feet from the property line. And we're proposing to put it 7 feet. And the reason being is there's a driveway there and a handicap ramp that if we would slide it over, they would have to be compromised, the ramp and the driveway. So it's entirely on the property. It's not going to be on the neighbor's property. It's just that it's within 10 feet. The second variance is for a variance to the Board of Health regulations that the leach field be designed 150% of Title V. It does not meet that. I propose to put in a Elgin drain, Elgin system, which is an advanced system, an alternative system that provides a higher level of treatment. And with that, you can put in a slightly smaller footprint than Title V. The design as shown exceeds the Elgin requirements for minimum sizing, but it does not meet the town of Ashland's requirements. So that's basically what we're proposing and asking for. I'd be glad to answer any questions the board might have.
Anybody have any questions?
Does he have a diagram or schematic to show us?
There was, Raj, I know we had a diagram.
You should have received the plan.
Yeah, hang on.
yeah.
It was
it's in
part of the packet, KG.
It is
Oh,
part of the
okay.
packet. Yep.
All right. Okay. I'll take a look at it. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And,
Sorry,
and Chief,
Raj, were you going to say something?
we have Casey, our regional inspector. He reviewed the plans, he was at the soil test. If we have any questions. we can
Okay.
ask him,
No, that's fine. If he has reviewed it, that's good.
Yeah,
Any-
oh, go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, I received the original plan. Mark, I've known him from other towns. I don't think I think this might be one of his first early projects here in Ashland, and he just needed to make it so ask the variance. It's a very tight lot. There's really
Yeah,
very little
I
place to
understand.
put it. So that's why you need a variance to have a smaller system and to not be so to be a little closer to the property next door. There really, I mean, it's a pretty standard variance request. There really aren't really any reasonable alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any, the neighbors all were, they all received certified letters of this hearing if they wish to add comment as per Title V. So I don't know if there's any concerns or questions from any neighbors if they're here.
Are there any
That is
abutters
part
on?
of this.
Didn't receive any messages or phone calls, and nobody's here tonight that I can see.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
So does someone want to make a motion?
I will give it a shot. So I'll make a motion to provide a variance from the local Ashland regulations related to leaching area dimensions, section 303-11, and a variance from Title V for a septic system with a setback of 7 feet instead of 10 feet.
I second that.
Any other questions, anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, you're all set.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You're welcome, you
Thank
too.
you.
Over and out.
The next thing on the agenda is 201 Winter Street, Civilized Solutions request for a septic variance. Do I have anybody here for that one?
Yep, it's Eric Dickinson with Civilized Solutions. Could I share my screen?
Okay, good.
Laura, can you give him access?
Yes, hold on. Should be all set.
Okay, yep, I got it. Document. Hold on 1 second. That's it. Let me see if I can find I have the AutoCAD plan, but that's not gonna work. I just had it open. Let me see. It again. Okay, now let me try to go back to you guys. There it is. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I thought I had it open. Anyway, I'm Eric Dickinson of Civilized Solutions here on behalf of the applicant. This project is 201 Winter Street. The location of it is near the intersection of Strobel, if you're familiar with it. It's a 4-bedroom, single-family home. The existing septic system is in the backyard. It's right here in this bubble-type cloud. It did fail a Title V. There's an existing stream. It's a perennial stream going alongside the eastern side of the property. With I had it flagged by a wetlands professional. There's the 25-foot buffer, the 50-foot buffer, 100-foot buffer, then there's the Board of Health 75-foot buffer. This site is pretty steep in the back. I did my testing around the existing system, trying to make it work by gravity and save the homeowner money, and we try to stay away from all the pumps if we can. There was a lot of boulders and ledge in these test pits. I ended up doing 5 of them. We finally got the depth. I ran a perk in the B layer. I could not do the C layer because it was just too dangerous. There's a lot of fill, and there was just boulders, and it was just, you couldn't really get in there. I sent that off to a lab. It came back not too bad of soil. It was actually I believe it was let me see what it came up as. Pan in this for some reason. Came back as 8 minute per inch soil. I ended up using an Elgin system. They're Elgin trenches. I did design it for garbage disposal. So it meets all those requirements. It also has a 200 or a 2,000 gallon tank for a 4-bedroom, which is oversized, recommended by Elgin. So those are the Elgin variants. They all apply 2 feet to groundwater, 40% reduction to try to fit it in this area. What it doesn't show here is this area all down here is just heavily wooded, and there's wetlands. So I sent the soil to a lab. That's a variance, a state variance. And then the one that I'm mainly here for, I did get Conservation Commission approval, negative determination, but is the 75-foot buffer to the wetland. As you can see, that's a Board of Health requirement. I don't think I could have fit anything in here. You know, the buffer extends from here down. You know, would have to tear up the driveway, the water service. So that's the variance that I'm requesting tonight, along with, like I said, using a sieve for the C layer, and then the Elgin system, which really isn't a variance, but that's what I ended up using. That's about what I have. If you have any questions, like I said, it did get Conservation Commission approval. The homeowner grew up, or the applicant grew up in this house. Her mother passed. She's selling it. She would like to get the system put in before the winter so she doesn't have to heat the empty house, which can get costly. That's what I have for now.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Eric, if I may.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The elevations of the leach field and the elevations of the perennial stream there that you have.
Yes.
You did say there's a steep slope, is that right?
Yeah, it's about a 10% slope in the backyard here.
Yeah, is that a concern if there's a breach here? Would it impact the perennial river? Or did you have any kind of a retaining wall or something that helps?
No, it's like
Retreat.
yeah, it will be slightly elevated, and the stream is actually, the contours don't show it, but it's like the top of the system right here is at what is it, 102? And this stream way up in here is 102, but they should have extended the contours over, but it's pretty much a valley in there. It's pretty cut in, you know, it's flowing. I don't see it climbing all the way up to
No, it's not climbing. It's the breach from the
septic.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm concerned. That gets into the stream will be a problem. So do
Yeah.
you have any? You have a
Yes,
retaining wall to protect it, or you have something?
No, I was able to grade it off. There is an impervious barrier right here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So anywhere where I could potentially have breakout, I installed that, or have proposed that.
All right. So that's good.
Good question. Yeah.
You always
Anybody
think
else have
about it
any
when you have a
questions?
difference in elevation. You always think about it.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
None.
So can I get a motion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make the motion. So I make the motion to grant a variance from Title 5 CMR 310 sections 15.284 and 15.405, allowing for the SAS to be installed 2 feet above seasonal high groundwater using the Elgin GSF system, and to allow for the SAS to be designed based on a sieve versus percolation test.
I second that.
Okay. Can you unshare your screen because I can't see everybody?
Oh, unshare it. Stop share. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Sorry
Okay,
about that.
any additional questions, anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Actually, does that include sorry, I
That's right.
Thought I only heard 2 variances. Did that include the wetlands?
Oh,
303.
75 feet. Yeah, I think you might have skipped that. This-
Yeah,
Can
Yeah.
we want
but
to
that's-
add in? You are making an additional motion for that, and then we can clear that
sure,
up.
yes. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we grant a variance for the local health variance, section 303-15, wetlands and water bodies to be within 75 feet. With this project, I think it's about 50 feet.
I second that.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay,
Thanks, Dave.
awesome. Good catch, Dave.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good
All right.
night.
Yep.
Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda is the grease trap waiver request, Texas Meat Market at 6 Chestnut Street. Do we have anybody on for there?
Helen?
Yep, we're here.
Hi, I am Tida. I am the business consultant helping them with the project for the food permit. And this project is just for a butcher and a small grocery store, like a convenience store. So it's not going to be any frying product, any type of oil collection or nothing. They will have a grease trap under the 3-bay sink, but they are not going to fry anything. They are not going to cook any food in the location. That's why we ask for the waiver for the grease trap external.
Does anybody have any questions? This
So-
is the old Dairy Queen building, right?
That's correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what is your recommendation, Raj?
Mr. KG, yes, we are good to go on this. We reviewed their plans. So I guess we should be good as long as they're not cooking any food, not generating any of the fats.
They have to come every year like that before, right? As usual.
It's usually, so I guess how we're dealing with, they get the waiver, but then we bring the list of the vendors, right, who have external
Waivers, okay.
waivers, that we bring it to the board. And I guess
That's right.
the individuals doesn't come, so.
Okay, but they come back again at the end of the year. I presume that's what usually happens. Anyway, I'm ready to
And-
make a motion if that's what is needed.
One sec, KG, real quick. So once they have food in that building, they'll be subject to your inspections, correct?
That is correct, sir, yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, KG.
I move that they be given the waiver of grease trap. External
Second.
grease trap.
Second.
Okay. Any additional questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. It's all set. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda is the grease trap waiver request, Clocktown Pickleball at 200 Homer Ave. Raj, who's on for that?
1 second, Chief, So anybody from Clock Tower?
Jeff Walker, one of the owners of the Clock Tower Pickleball, and I should also have my partner Steve Brzezinski should be here as well.
And Mr. Walker, if you can explain the board, why we're asking the waiver, please.
Sure. Basically, we as hopefully we have a pickleball facility over at 200 Homer, and with a bar, and wanted to be able to serve a very limited menu. With a limited kitchen, basically the kitchen containing convection oven, microwave, and I think a panini machine is all we have. We do have 1 3-bay sink, which we, again, like the previous applicant, will have internal grease trap. But there's no burners, we're not going to be cooking really anything that will require the additional grease. So pizzas. Most of the stuff's going to be served in plastic baskets and napkins, and just a little snacking food if you get a little appetite after pickleball. Very similar to what they have downstairs at the golf simulator, Dr. Green's.
When you said you're serving pizzas in plastic, the plastic containers don't get washed there, or just disposed of?
No, we were not even going to have a dishwasher. So it's basically sort of just hand washing some stuff. Yeah, so they'll be limited, but you know, I'd say it's less than your conventional kitchen you'd have in your house for sure.
Okay.
Raj, will they be required to have the separate sink for hand washing for this?
So
With this
yes.
amount of food?
I mean, definitely separate sink for hand washing, you know, but and then they have a 3-way sink, you know, for any of that, and that's gonna have an internal grease trap, you know.
Okay. Any additional questions, anybody?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll make this motion that we grant the grease trap waiver request for Clocktown Pickleball at 200 Homer Ave.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You are all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry. The next thing on the agenda, Chestnut Place Apartments, unsanitary conditions at dumpster area. Raj, we'll let you take this one.
Yes, sir. So, Chief, as we discussed, right? So, the Chestnut Place Apartments, I know that they was in front of the board, I guess last year or so, right? And what we have noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, that they have change of management maybe 6 months back or something like that, you know. But I have not seen too much improvements in the conditions, you know, and my past couple of inspections, there was a lot of stuff going on at the dumpster area, you know. So I have bring it to attention of Mr. Brian, who's here. On my phone call last week, didn't had a very good response from him, you know. I had a couple of bad cases that are still pending and didn't have response on that. 2 unpaid tickets at the location, you know. So I just want to know what's going on and what we are doing to improve the situation.
Sure. I'm going to introduce a couple of members of my team from my regional team, Stacy Lovell and Dan Chan, who I have spoken to about. Stacy's going to talk a little bit about this as we discussed it earlier.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name's Stacy. I'm the area vice president for Willow Bridge, which is the management company for Chestnut Place Apartment. So we actually and I apologize if I'm saying your name correctly. Is it Rajit? Okay. We haven't met yet. So as Rajit mentioned, we actually took over management in April. And so one of the reasons why we are third-party management, so we don't own the buildings, that they made the change, and one of the issues they said that they were having was this trash issue. So we came in, and this was obviously something that we were very concerned about and wanted to fix right away. So we have been paying attention to it. I know that he mentioned we had, I believe, 2 fines since we've taken over. We're looking into the unpaid tickets. There's some back and forth between the checks getting to you and not, but we have processed those on our end. But we have our trash pickup every day. We have been notifying the residents of what is needed for the trash pickup. We have changed exterminating companies back in June. They're there every other week. So we have been making the improvements, and we have our guys there. We have 2 maintenance guys on staff. They're there every morning. They pick it up and stuff. So we are working and taking this very seriously.
See, can you please update me on the pending cases? You know, so I have 2 cases where I have roaches problem for over 2 years, you know, and was not solved, you know. But when I talked to Brian last week, I was given the impression that this kind of industry standard, that these roaches don't go away. I gave maximum time to you guys, right? But I have no update from the management whatsoever on those cases, you know. So can you please, in my email where you was copied, I have three units, you know, that had like bad roach problem, you know. Can you please update me on that, please?
Okay,
I am, sorry, I have not seen that email and I'm not aware of those cases, so I apologize. I can't give you an update on those. Brian might be able to. If I can give you my email address, if you would like to copy me on it going forward, that'd be great.
yeah, I'll include you on the email. And yes, and my apologies, I should have updated you earlier. All three of the apartments that were issues before, all three of those tenants have vacated. So I'm curious if you've received anything else from them. They moved out. You know, one of them moved out 2 months ago, 4 months ago, and 6 months ago. So none of those people are here any further. And I did forward you all of our pest control reports last week. So I'm not sure. Did you receive those?
I did receive that, Mr. Bryan, but you know, for in my end, the cases are open, you know, and
Okay.
those cases by law need to be re-inspected before you can rent them out again, you know. So how sure we are that those problems were solved when they were sitting there for almost 2 years. So that's your duty to inform us, you know, if there is anything going like that, right? That I should come out and re-inspect it before you can have somebody else there, right?
Okay.
And I apologize for us. That's on me. That's not something that we typically do with other towns and stuff. So I apologize with the transition of the management. It probably got lost in the shuffle if it's been dealing with for 2 months. So I apologize for that.
No, sorry, you're saying the other towns you don't need to do that? Was that
Not necessarily have people. We kind of give the paperwork and stuff with what's been done on the with the exterminator and stuff. So we don't necessarily have to have people come out and re-inspect if we have an issue like that.
my question was, right? So if
Mhm.
I have a letter out, order to correct letter out, right? On the violations, you know, like how do you decide that the violations was corrected, or who clears it before you can re-rent the apartment? You know, like who decides that? Because I have a legal document sitting in my office, right, that this property was in violation or this unit was in violation, right? Unless I come verify that, you know, but like how do you clear that? Who proves that this unit is okay to be re-rented, you know?
We'll do that and we'll have that. And I apologize. It was not something that we did deliberately. It was just overlooked.
And other thing was I was informed by our building commissioner, right, that some of the units was flooded. You know, I have nothing on that. You know, so can you please inform the board what's going on with that? You know,
With the flood, what happened
yes,
with it?
I was informed some of the units was flooded. You know, like.
Yep.
So what are we doing with that? You know, so because a lot of these problems, right? At least the 3 cases I have in 14 building was because of chronic moistures from the leaks. You know, and like now, if the units was flooded, what you have done to prevent any sort of these pests, you know, to be there?
Sure. Well, we did full remediation. We work with third-party vendor to come in, clean everything up, and rebuilding them essentially. So yes, we work third-party vendors through full remediation and everything. I guess I don't really understand exactly what you're asking for on that end.
So I think I can chime in here a little bit. I've been on the board for a long time, and I understand you're a new management company, but no matter who it's been at Chestnut Place, the lack of communication is just very frustrating for Raj and our board. Um, you know, listen, an email goes a long way, you know, to keep people updated, and just it just seems like we're always just chasing everything at Chestnut Place, and we don't have these issues at other apartments with communication in the town.
Yeah, no, and we're here to fix it. And maybe this was a conversation we should have had 6 months ago. And I apologize, you know what I mean? Something that maybe is just overlooked. We're happy to provide you with whatever we want. We want, we want to make sure that we're running it smoothly, not just for us, but for our residents, for you guys. So we're happy to provide you with this information. Again, I will say there's different towns who require different stuff. I usually don't have to go to the Board of Health if I have a pipe burst or something like that. I understand your issues and concerns because there was stuff. So maybe we do have to have a little bit more communication, and we're open to that. Same thing with I think there was a fire the other day, and I think you brought up that you weren't notified. again, that's not something that we typically do on our procedures. If there's a fire, obviously we don't want a fire, but if there is something that happens, it's not necessarily that we bring it to the Board of Health, everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, just Raj is very, very engaged with everybody, in the community. So, so it's kind of almost become an expectation, that people will just have conversations or emails with Raj, keep him up to date what's going on.
Okay, all right, but I also don't want to get penalized. So if something happens and we don't,
Right. Well, right.
So-
Well, again, right. I mean, this is a great conversation where we can clean up the communication and,
See, just to let you know from my side, I'm sorry, Chief, with these three cases is a legal requirement for, me to come out to do a reinspection. I'll be very surprised out of 351 communities in Massachusetts, if somebody is not doing that, that's a legal trouble for me if I don't reinspect the property, just to let you know, I would like to know which communities don't ask for it, when you have some tenant leave and, not be cleared by Board of Health, it's sitting on my head. And those cases are not going to get closed, it's going to be sitting there till we close it. Without verification, I cannot, if you tell me the tenant moved out, doesn't help me. I still don't know what is the condition in your unit,
I guess what I was trying to say is more so when we provide the information about what the exterminator has done, it's cleared at that point. For it to be open 2 years is not something we would have done anyway. So we'll make sure it gets right, and whatever you need from us, want to schedule it. They may have been re-rented, they may have new people in there, but whatever we need to do, we'll make sure it's right.
Ed, may I make a suggestion for these new management team? Yeah, it may be a proactive step if you probably review the records that the Board of Health has about your properties. That way you can pick on things that have happened in the past and avoid getting into the same loophole again. It may help you better, and also it will be a easy proactive step for you to work with rather than trying to find somebody complaining and then acting on it.
Of course. And like I said, we want to fix these problems. This is not something, that we want. We want to run this building smoothly, not just for us, but for the residents especially and stuff. So we understand the importance of it and everything. So we want to make sure that it's corrected. And
so hopefully you clear those pending cases with Raj.
Yep. Raj, have you seen any improvement with the trash and stuff like that? We have been working hard.
Man, I am with you. Last time we met Brian, when you guys took it over, I told him last time the company or the, apartments was in front of the board. The board asked them to, at least maybe, bi-weekly send me pictures. That stopped, and then I had a couple of bad ones. That's why the board wanted to see you guys, like it's not my intention, right, that you guys be here. But I had very little communication on whatsoever, about these cases too. The gentleman was in one of those cases. I mean, I did that case was pending for a year and a half. I know you guys came here 6 months back, but there are certain duties I need to do too, like now, if this one of these cases ended up in court, I'll be asked this question as well, and I mean, you in fact, yes, but I'll be asked like, hey, why was not this closed? Like, I mean, so, and these are 3 units, not one even, right, that we have order letters out and not closed, so yes, I mean, if you ask me, yes, there was improvement when you took it over, but like now again, I had bad inspections.
Okay.
So are there any pending fines that they have to pay?
In my system, sir, I checked with my clerk's office yesterday. I mean, Friday. There's 2 tickets that I've written to them in the email today that the ticket's pending. So we have $200 tickets that are pending that not been paid.
Yeah, there
I
seems to be some.
mention real quick that so when we sent the checks out, I went and I checked with, I believe, your tax collector, and apparently they wouldn't cash the check because there were 2 separate things paid to the town of Ashland. So they never cashed the check. So the check was reissued last week.
I will check with them again, but it goes to our clerk's office, and I inquired about it Friday, and it was not cleared. So just to let you know.
Okay, well, when I spoke to your clerk, she said that she didn't cash it because they were going to two different funds. So I apologize, but it has been reissued.
Sure, thank you.
So if I may, so Raj, so there's the three pest infestation cases still open at the Chestnut Street Apartments. Is that correct?
Along with other violations, so yes,
Okay. So
What
what
is it-
if I
Sorry,
may,
I'm
hold on.
sorry.
Yep. So what exactly is required for you to clear and close those cases?
I need to do a reinspection.
Okay, so that's what's required. It's not just a pest a report from a pest agent vendor to Raj's office. He has to come out and inspect, and that is what's required to clear the cases. So I think that's what you need to arrange with him.
Yep,
is
well, we're
the
fine to
inspection.
schedule it whenever. Mhm,
Okay.
Yep, but I guess my other question is, what are the other violations besides those three? I don't know if this is something we want to talk about now, or you want to send those to me?
Absolutely, those been sent it to you guys, but there was multiple other issues on all the order letters. So I can resend it, but your office should have it. So it was just not the pest issue. There was like other leaks, other structural things on all the three cases.
Okay, and those are still open and pending.
Yes, I cannot close a case without a reinspection, until I have verified that, yes, those violations been corrected. I legally cannot just close it. It's a legal document. Once it's issued by the Board of Health,
Hello.
it becomes a legal issue. It's a legal document.
Well, we're willing to work
Sure.
with you, get these straightened out and fixed and everything. Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, good. Oh, sure.
KG, can you mute?
Can you mute yourself, KG?
KG, can you mute?
Yep. Give me 1 second. Sorry for that. I thought.
Okay. All right. So I think we're all set, Raj, with this for now.
Yes, sir. I'm just
Okay.
looking for, better communication, close these things. That's all, thank you.
Okay, Thank you.
Thank you, three of you, for coming tonight.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
You
Bye.
too. So the next thing on the agenda is a variance request, keeping of animals regulations. Sorry, I can't read this. It's all smudged. Milton Samba, 507 Main Street. Raj, you gonna?
Yes, Chief. So we've been out a couple of times, on this property with Donna last week, right? Last time, board have some questions. We have sent the measurements with all the calculations we did. I've sent it to the board. They've been they're allowed 24 chickens, with the structure. Other than that, we have sent the distances for the board, from the butters as well as from the wetlands. And I guess all the questions, I know, Dr. J, you reach out to Laura. Everything else, then the manure plan, we have it, from them. Donna is here. Donna have some concerns about the health of the birds. Donna, if you wanna put any inputs in, then we can. If any questions for the owner, we can ask.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Donna. Go ahead.
I have some concerns. There's quite a few chickens, I believe 28. We recommended that they see a vet, which they did do. But my concern is that the vet recommended that the chickens be separated, the smaller ones from the bigger ones, and that hadn't been done yet. The smaller chickens have very few feathers, which is not going, in my opinion, they're not going to do very well over the winter. So I have some concerns about that. And also, there was food still on the ground after we had asked them to not leave any food out for the chickens. So, you know, we've been there
Right.
3 times and it's a little concerning.
Right, and we do have a letter from a vet, Michelle Nealand, who's also making the recommendation that the smaller birds be moved
Right.
so that they're not in contact with the larger birds.
Correct. And that had not been done yet when we visited last week.
Okay, right. So again, we have it from a vet. So, you know, we're going to go by what a vet is telling us in this particular scenario.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mariana. I want to translate for my brother and sister-in-law. But this is a bed that you bring from the Ashland town, a different bed that you brought to the house. Because the bed that we paid for it, and she came over, they call it exotic pet, and they came over, they look at it, they send you the report to all of
Right.
about the birds that were healthy and there were no problem. The
Right.
feathers came down because the chickens play each other and they are little, so the feathers came out. He didn't see any problems with that.
Well, we have the letter from the vet who's recommending that the smaller birds be separated.
Which pet? What
we have
pet?
from Michelle Nealand from Exotic Pet.
Yeah, okay. We didn't got that letter. So the report that the letter that she gave to us.
According to this, it was sent to you on October 11th to 507 Main Street.
No, I haven't seen that letter. I just got the first report that she gave us and the first one I sent you.
Laura, can you?
I think that was in an email that you sent to me, Mark.
Okay.
Were you on that email too?
Maybe, but they are separated. The last visit, I think you talk about that to have them separated. So my brother-in-law is gonna do that. He already removed some other chickens out. They were expecting to see you were gonna show up today because you said you were gonna come back to the house before the meeting. I don't know if you guys did this morning.
Donna, did you go there today?
No.
No.
We had no plan to go back there today.
So I'm gonna you know, if anyone else, please chime in, everyone else, but I'm gonna say that this is gonna have to be pushed off to our December 2nd meeting until we have another inspection based on the veterinary report of what's being recommended.
Okay.
Ed, can I just I'm going to read aloud the second paragraph because
Sure.
I think there's some disagreement about what the exact conclusions are. So it says physical examination of the broiler chicks showed that they were in good body condition with no external signs of disease or parasites. I think that is what Ms. Martinez or the Martinezes are referring to. However, it also says that the feather loss is likely being caused by damage to the new pin feathers molting due to bullying and pecking from the larger birds, and that we discussed strategies with the clients. Again, that would be the Martinezes, to minimize bullying in the flock, such as separating the larger hens while the broiler chicks are growing. So maybe then the next inspection before our next meeting should pay specific attention to that issue and make sure that there is a strategy in place to address that concern.
Yeah, well, as of right now, the bigger chickens are not there anymore. They just keep the little ones. They're gone.
So Mariana, how many chickens was removed? You know, do you have the number?
I don't know if is she still there?
She's still there.
Yeah, well, Angie no habla, ¿dónde está? Dile que conteste. Milton, are you there? Angie, ¿están ahí? I think my in-laws are there.
Sure. Can you please confirm
Yeah,
how many
sí,
chickens was removed, you know?
movimos ya
¿Cuántas
todas las grandes, como
¿Cuántas
11
gallinas?
movimos en total, como 11.
¿A 11 sacaron?
Sí, ya sacamos ya 11, ya no hay ni una grande ya.
So, ¿cuántas tienen?
Como unos 20.
Ya, ¿y cuántas
Sí.
sacaron? Están preguntando.
Las grandes que sacamos todas las grandes, estaban como unas 29, sacamos, pues estarán unas 18, ¿no? Unas 18, 20 casi deben estar. Sí, porque estaban como 29. Unos 18 deben estar ahorita.
Okay, they say they removed some, so as of right now, they should be 18 chickens on. Yeah, they removed the big ones.
Sure, Chief, last time even Donna was there, right? We counted kind of 28 to 29 chickens, and because they was allowed only 24, we have asked them to remove the bigger chickens that was troubling the little ones, right?
Yes,
So,
they did that.
thank you. As you said, right? I mean, we can have another inspection, and then the board can decide. You know,
We
So-
have to. We
Yes.
have to. We cannot
Right.
move forward on this till another inspection happens.
Sure.
Okay.
And Mariana, another thing, you know, we don't have anything updated for the board for the manure plan. When I was at the inspection, we asked, you know, that you want to update your manure plan, you know, so that's another item that's pending that you want to update on the application or in an email to us. How is you gonna take care of your manure? You know, what is your manure plan?
What is the manure? I don't understand that part.
It's
What is
the chicken bird waste.
Okay. As of right now, that is separated in containers. What my brother-in-law is gonna do it, that's what they used to use. I mean, he worked in the farm before, is for ¿cómo se dice? Composing for his plants.
Sure. So you want to please update that in an email to us, you know, or put that on your application, right? And as
Yeah,
Donna
Raj, I think it just to be crystal clear, it has to be in writing.
Sure.
Okay.
We understand what you said, but it needs to be written down for us. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Did the Conservation Commission allow the composting on site for that within their limitation? Did they?
I believe they did.
Yeah, so that's, I think, a very good point, is that we need to know not just that the waste will be composted, but where it will be composted, because given the proximity to neighbors and the wetlands, that's the concern.
Okay.
I thought I was in one of those meetings that they wanted it to be off-site. That's what I thought. So, but I don't know. But better to check with Becca if you can, Raj, on that one.
I will, Mr. Kezi. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So
Thank you.
we'll see you at the next meeting, Mariana. Thank you.
Do we need to make a motion to move this to the next meeting, or we just automatically goes to that meeting?
I think it just automatically goes, KG.
Okay. No, okay.
Because we're not voting on anything.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Raj, your report.
Thank you, sir.
We know Raj can do these quick.
Let me do that quick. Sure. Thank you. So first, 2017 road, this was one of the failed systems was going on with Eversource. You know, there was some easement issue, and while I was away, you know, I did talk to my supervisor, and they checked with the Lisa Mead, right, that the issue was between the homeowner and the Eversource. So at that point, I checked with Chief at that time when I was traveling, and we have allowed the system to be built, and the system is built now, so we are all set on that. With this year also, we got the BBA grant for $1,000. We use that to provide containers, for shops. I guess from the time I am here, we've been getting this grant, and it's wonderful that we are able to provide free shop disposable containers to our residents. I still don't have any update from Mill Pond Restroom. They were supposed to be undergoing a change of ownership, but no update on that yet. Food establishments, GB Burgers, that's on Pond Street at Axel gas station, still nobody there. The last time we checked, they're out of business. Another update was Dunkin' on 41 West Union Street. A couple of weeks back, Tom was out on an inspection, and he found that there is change of ownership, and we was not notified. The owner applied for it while I was away, and today I saw the owner. I told him, like, hey, typically it's if you do change of ownership, that's closer, but I was away. But we have finally today we have granted them permit, so but they was almost about a month without a permit from us, given the change of ownership. Housing cases, Ashland Woods, we had a trash issue there, rodent, that been taken care at their dumpster area. 137 Pond Street, I'm in touch with the receiver now. The court have appointed a receiver for the property. He was in office last Thursday or Friday, I guess Friday morning. He's working to resolve the dispute now, or resolve the issues at the property. The first thing will be there is a van there, and there is a RV there. He's going to be taking care of those issues, right? I mean, there are two individuals living on the property in those trailers, and that he'll be taking care. That will be the first thing on his agenda. I did get an email from him today. We are in touch. Hopefully, we move on this property. 7 Joint Drive, September 27, Friday night, we had a small fire incident, as the property manager was mentioning. It was a small fire in one of the units, probably in a small refrigerator that the occupants was using to store makeup. So I have responded to that. That been corrected since. Statewide brush fires, I mean, everybody knows a lot going on with the fires right now, so what a lot of communities have done, they have banned the outdoor fire events as for right now. And we have similar message out from our fire department, kind of to not do any fire events outside, given the dryness and the fires going out in the state. Our public health nurse and been doing wonderful work with the community outreach. She had 2 seminars, one on diabetes in past couple of months at our community center, and a recent event or presentation on snow and ice safety last week at the community center. With our vaccination program, besides our childhood vaccine program, that's every Wednesday. We've been doing some clinics with the Pine Hill Pharmacy. On October 22nd, we have 36 vaccines, and then November 5th, we have 8 vaccines, and total of 119 shots this year with the Pine Hill Pharmacy. And last thing, with the disease investigations, not much right now with our foodborne illnesses or anything like that, but we have 3 TB cases currently that we are working on. And I'm open for any questions for the board.
Any questions, anybody? No. All right. So the next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Question first. Actually, so
go ahead.
If you look at the minutes from that meeting that we are approving, I think the time was wrong when you says you called the meeting at 7 o'clock. Ed, I don't think we met at 7.
Oh,
No, we met at
sorry.
6.
Yeah, just minor.
Really
but-
typed.
Yeah, Laura, can you fix that?
Yep. Sorry.
So
about
do we,
that.
do we approve it?
With that
Approve it with the
amended
change.
change.
Yeah, amendment.
Okay.
Do I have a
So-
second?
Well, I already moved, okay.
So, right, so KG, so
I
Jay,
moved.
you moved it. Now I need
I'll
a second.
I'll
Thank
second.
you.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
All right.
All right.
All right. And then let's see here. Let me see. Review and approve 2025 Board of Health permits pending receipt of all required documentation and 108 West Union Street chicken permit variance request.
Those will be on next agenda.
Next agendas. Okay, great. Anybody have any new business or anything that they would like to bring up?
Yeah, no, maybe for the next meeting, I can give folks an update on where we stand with the next RAM clinic. I think we should discuss, so.
Yeah, and you guys, if I was, hopefully I was not out of line pushing the blight bylaw moving forward, because otherwise we would have just continued. It would never would have, it would just would have continued. We would have been going on for over an hour and we had a lot of people waiting.
That's your job.
I know, I felt bad after, but I'm like, okay, I gotta do this.
Yeah. I think it made sense.
Yeah.
And-
Well, everyone, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved, my friend.
Okay. And I'll second it. Everyone, thank you very much and have a great, oh, Raj, just on behalf of myself and the board, condolences about your dad.
Thank you, sir. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Raj.